among all the different topics which we covered. Yesterday we had covered research funding and other aspects like promoting quality and relevant research and so on. A lot of points were discussed yesterday also. Some of them are relevant for today's topic also. Linking teaching and research. This is one of the most important challenges which we face today in higher education sector. So a lot of points were raised yesterday, like our relations with our partners, external partners like industry and other agents around us. The most important thing is we are looking at as a nation, as a leading nation in the economic front. If we wanted to have an a leader in economic front, definitely we need to foster research in our academic institutions. We have, say, statistics. I will not go into much of the statistics. Most of the statistics were discussed yesterday. We were concerned about the present situation, quality of research, excellence, and so on. Research, as we know, is distributed in various agencies, as we see in India, like government laboratories, and then they're doing pretty well because they are very targeted research, result-oriented research. But research in academic institutions mostly remain as academic exercise only. But if you wanted to play a role on the global platform with our own products and services, definitely we need to change this scenario. So the most important thing I feel is about partnership of the higher education institutions with other institutions as well as industry. So we should look at partners, and we should look for challenging problems posed to us by the partners. And the most important thing is we are looking at something like 4 crore enrollment in the higher education. But say we should have certain targets. At least 10% of this 4 crore should be, translated into good researchers. Good research means which has, something like, we know that research at the academic level, at the higher end level, we need that. But at the same time, most of the research happens not at that level. Actually, most of the research targeted towards, something useful to the society. Something economically beneficial, something which can be translated into products and services which can go into global market. That kind of higher order research, we have a lot of opportunities now. We talked about research funding and so on, but we don't need to worry too much about research funding. That's my feeling about it. What is important for us is to find partners for doing good research. And if you find good partners, and if you tell them that we mean business, definitely partners will come and spend money. There is no issue on that. That is my experience about it. Also, there's a very, very important point yesterday, Professor Dinesh Singh has made. That means we have to integrate our research activities in academic institutions with all the programs at the university level and college level. Because we know that most of our higher education enrollment is in college level, where research is happening. But we need to, recharge them. We need to make research happening in colleges also. Otherwise, we will not be able to reach, say, if you make a target of 10%, then we'll not be able to meet that target without introducing this at the college level. So those are very important. If you introduce that at the college level, we need to introduce research component at undergraduate level. Professor Dinesh Singh has mentioned it, and he told us some very successful stories. And I think that is a story which can be, scaled up and can be introduced in every institution, so that right from day one in university or college, students get a feel of what research is, and then they can be introduced into research activities. And these research activities, a large component of this research activity can be translational research. So that is a possibility. So we should target something like, by the time students finish a 4-year or sometimes even 5-year, they should be able to publish So we need to change our curriculum accordingly. That is the most important. When we say that we need to change a curriculum and introduce research, immediately we think about introducing a course on research methodology and so on, which we know is not very useful. We have introduced this at the PhD level, and we know that it was not that much of a game changer. But we should introduce at a very basic level. At the basic level, students are much more excited. That is my experience. So after first year, second year in their college or university, they are much more excited people. They are that you have to keep that excitement in them. So we have to modify our curriculum and regulations and so on in order to make them more exciting. And exciting teachers also need to be need to get excited about what they're doing. That is one of the important challenges we have now, because we have, I think from 2023 onwards, our assistant professor level recruitment needs to be, PhDs. That is what I understand. That means we will have all the faculty members who are PhDs. But the point is, when we insist on such requirements, what happens is PhD for the sake of PhD, PhD for the sake of getting employment, and PhD for the sake of getting promotion. And produce PhD for the sake of getting promotion, publish for the sake of getting promotion. This kind of an attitude has set in because of the regulations we have put in at the various levels and conditions and so on. We need to have some other mechanism in order to measure the effectiveness of research very closely. That is one of the important things. Otherwise, if you bring in regulations just for the sake of regulation, what happens is people try to get around that somehow, and that creates problems. So if you excite our students at the undergraduate level, orient them towards research activities, then I'm sure there will be pressure on the teachers also to do something meaningful, because students, once they come up with the problems, then definitely teachers also will have to follow that. Curriculum wise, we can think about project-based learning that has been mentioned yesterday, project-based learning, and that could be leading to something like a publication of a paper or a development of a product, and so on. Our evaluation system also has to change accordingly. And in our system, what happens is normally it's all class-oriented education, and then writing examinations and getting marks, certificates, and so on. So we need to change this also in tune with the new developments that is required in us. Evaluation system has to change, and delivery system also has to change, with a larger part of the program involving problem-solving approach. And problem-solving approach need to be evaluated very carefully. So all these things we can also introduce, from my own experience, I can tell you, we can also introduce what is called a reading course in our programs. So what we do is we have introduced at the postgraduate level. We have a mentoring system in our university now. So everybody is, we have all the faculty members have student groups. They cater to the requirement of the students. So this students group is attached to the research group of that particular faculty. So there is a continuity also. So we have right from first semester itself, they are part of the research activities which is going on along with their mentor teacher and research students with them. So this is working very well. And also along with that, what we are now introducing is a reading course. That means from the first year itself, we give them a very important, very notable paper, which is coming in a good journal, and ask the students to study this along with the other activities. And we wanted to reduce the syllabus somehow. We're teaching too many, we are actually teaching too many things without much meaning. We are horizontally we're perfectly well, but otherwise vertical is difficult. So we wanted to do that, and it is also working well. We give them some importance. Say if you're in physics, we give a paper in physical review letters and ask the students to study that along with the group, the mentor group people, and they learn it, present it, make a report about it, and we give 2 credits for that. It's the program with the credits, course with the credits. So those things are working. We are also trying to work very closely with the industry. It is, we are getting some very encouraging results out of that. So we have to, what I mean to say is that when we say teaching and research, linking of these two, we need to do a lot in order to, modify our curriculum, regulations, delivery system, evaluation system. So we need to think, out of box, and have to, I'm sure definitely we have a very distinguished panel with us, and I'm sure we'll have, we'll definitely get a lot of insight from the presentations. I think we have about 90 minutes this session, and 4 speakers. We'll give, I think, 10 minutes each for the speakers, and then followed by discussions and some conclusions, recommendations, and so on. Let me call upon Professor Kanabiran, Director, Indian Institute of Information Technology, please.
Now I take the privilege of introducing today's first speaker, Dr. Ganeshan Kannabiraman, who is the founding director of IIIT Sri City Chittor. He is a leading team of the faculty to make IIIT Sri City as nationally relevant and globally competitive entrepreneurial institution. Sir, we have 2 pages of biodata, but due to paucity of time,
I don't need to read.
Yeah, with your permission, I'll just highlight your few things. He has served as the chairman of institutional level for strategic planning group, assisting a major goal-oriented transformation of NIT Tiruchirappalli. He has served as president of Chennai chapter for International Institute of Business Analytics, and he holds a PhD in MIS along with 3 master's degrees in computer science. Oh, nice, sir. I'm also from computer science, business administration, and mathematics. With these few words, I welcome Dr. Ganeshan Kannabiraman, and thank you, sir.
I have one.
Yeah, you have one?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Good morning to all of you. Professor Hemachandra Reddy, Mr. Das, and Madam Pankaj Mittal, and fellow directors and vice chancellors. Am I audible?
Yes.
So, thank you for inviting me for this conference. It looks like I'm an odd man out. I don't know how many engineering institutions are here. Are there engineering institutions here?
Quite a few.
Quite a few, okay. And I'll start with the caveat that whatever I am talking here is mostly relevant to technical education. And I represent a class of institutions, IIITs, which are only 2-branch, 3-branch institutions, focusing only on IT. So whatever I talk, some of these may be applicable, or some of these may not be applicable to other disciplines. So this is a very interesting topic, as Chairman said, and so I'm also personally passionate about talking about it. So that way, I'm thankful to the organizer for putting me onto this track. Sorry. So I thought I'll just put a slide to talk about, yeah. So I'll take about 30 seconds to talk about my institute, and then talk about changing trends in teaching, changing trends in research, and what is this alignment, which is where we are getting new complementarity, and some experiences and how to make it happen. I'll take 2 minutes each on these topics. So we are located near Chennai, but in Andhra Pradesh, 60 kilometers from Chennai, and for all practical purposes, we are more closer to Tamil Nadu than Andhra Pradesh. And we are located in a large industrial town with about 200 manufacturing companies, and we are adjacent to that large campus. And we are today one of the top institutes in this field, among our peers, because of various academic reforms and that we have done, as well as the ability to attract good students and good placements, and very importantly, ability to attract and retain quality faculty members. So, and we have been doing very well in the last few years. Okay, let us focus on what's happening to teaching now. The teaching is completely changing now from our perspective. Today, we need to focus on less teaching and more learning. And everything is moving towards student-centric. And gone are the days where we have our set syllabus, set methodology to teach, set methodologies to assess students. And these are very dynamic today, and it is becoming more learner-centric. I'm just putting here learner because this learner, not necessarily a 18 to 21 student, but there are other learners who are coming into our ambit, and new generation of learners. And the students that we have seen about 5 years ago or 10 years ago are not the students of today. And most of you in the academic will know that the students before COVID and the student after COVID is different, right? And there are clear changes in the way in which they want to engage with us. So in that sense, the Gen Z students or learners are really difficult to handle, and it is really difficult to engage and teach to them. And the other aspect is that we used to talk about lifelong learning for decades together, but the concept is completely getting eradicated. Now teaching is on the fly, on the go. People want to teach, and your assessments also should be like that to match with that trend. And peer and social learning, the whole concept of learning from the teacher is going away. It is a good trend. If a student can learn without teacher, that's the best thing to happen. We can have less teachers in our universities. And then practical orientation. Today, in my institute, if I bring a guest faculty or a specialist person who's only talking, they are not keen. They want to do something. So I'll tell them, will you give some problem to solve? Will you give a program to be written? Will you do a case study to be solved? Then you can be with our students. Otherwise, you cannot. Simple talking doesn't help to our generation of learners today. And the teaching enabled, technology enabled context. Today, you're talking about metaverse. And I'm sure all of us are exploring metaverse into the teaching context. And these are some of the trends. There are other trends, but these trends have a relevance to the other topic called research. Now, the creation of what is research, obviously, is creation of new knowledge. I mean, I'm not looking at research in a traditional sense of doing something and publishing a paper and looking for citation index, looking for the other parameters, but it is about creating new knowledge. If you take that definition, it is more leading to innovation and value creation. And that research that we do as teachers should lead to innovation, and that innovation should eventually lead to value creation. And that value creation, as chairman said, either economic value or a social value. And our teaching is linked to this kind of research is a question mark. And then it's about publication to intellectual property. And it is needless to say that today we are being the 5th largest economy and poised to become one of the 3 economies of the world. And our country leading in innovation index from 80 position to 40 positions and things like that. We need more and more intellectual property to be created rather than publications in our definition of research. And emerging research value chain. This research value chain is ranging from doing small projects to solve a problem or to get a Nobel Prize at the other end. I mean, this earlier we were thinking that hundreds of publications somebody makes is a good candidate for a vice chancellor or something. That trend today, if you look at the latest Nobel Prize winner, I think his H index was close to 10 or something. So now the point is, it's not those parameters, but the parameters that make sense to the economy or society. And then rapid advances in many fields. It is needless to talk about it. Every field today is advancing rapidly. And many of these advancements are fueled or enabled through information technology. And traditional to modern expectations. This is what I was conclusively I'm saying. The traditional way of looking at research is changing to modern approaches where it's about innovation and value creation. Now, what is this unique complementarity that is emerging, which means that how teaching helps research and how research helps teaching? The first one is you get better learning outcomes. And these learning outcomes today, in a undergraduate level or postgraduate level, is the student should get a good placement, good job. That happens only by making them skilled and making them able to solve problems, or they are able to get fully prepared for a higher study, not necessarily in India and outside. So how do we this research teaching linkage helps that? I'll explain with the examples a little later. Sustaining learning interest, and all of you know that keeping a student for 50 minutes in a class and lecturing versus making them do small projects over the number of 5-10 classes makes them more sustaining the interest in the topic that you are teaching, and creating learnability. And one of the challenges about today is making learnable students. I mean, it's not about learning, it's about learnability, and which gives them a sort of competencies to continuously keep their minds and ears open and be able to learn, and extending the to training and consulting. Now, I'll give you an example a little later. Today, if you are a good researcher and good teacher, and you don't need to stop at the university level, campus level, you can move out and do so many things outside your current job, and being close to national priorities. That's what I was saying, that if only we combine these two together and deliver it effectively, we can work towards our national priorities of both socio-economic development. I'll take a couple of minutes to explain some experiences that we have with us. One is personally as a teacher. I've been a teacher for 30 years now. And somewhere I just picked up a topic called knowledge management. That was an accident that I went to a company called Titan. Then I was talking to somebody. Then when talking about IT, then they said we have implemented IT-based systems for knowledge management. I just got excited about it. I asked them, they gave one small deck of slides. Then I took it and then started reading it. Then I wrote a case study. I wrote a case study for a journal. Some of you may understand there is something called case research, unlike survey research and others. So then somebody read it and said, it's a very interesting article, are you doing some more work? Then I started talking to a few other people. Over a period of time, then I introduced a subject called knowledge management. This is many years ago. Now, I introduced subject knowledge management. I brought few other industry practitioners to take special lectures in those topics. I got connected to those half a dozen companies. Then I asked them, can I write a case study about your company? Then I wrote about few case studies. I wrote about Titan again. I wrote about Fidelity. I wrote about NLC. I wrote about few other companies. Then I picked up further knowledge. Then I talked about offering MDPs, management development programs and knowledge management. So I've done more than 10 MDPs. I've made a lot of money also in that. And I ran programs for deans and senior professors of NITs and IITs, a program on knowledge management. Then I applied, we both were Fulbright scholars. I applied for Fulbright Alumni Fund to train faculty in knowledge management. And then I started looking at offering consulting assignments. I have now completed 4 consulting assignments on how to apply knowledge management using technologies. And the last, I picked up an international agency asked me that, can you work on measuring how knowledge is managed? Correct? So what I'm trying to tell you is a small thing that you do, link your research and teaching, can offer benefits across. The second thing I want to talk about, Chairman also talked about it. One of the biggest mistake that we have done for decades, we thought only at the PhD level people can do research, right? somewhere IITs and IISCs and those institutes brought research to the master degree. They did some project, 1-year project. They were able to publish papers or file an IP or whatever. Today, the students who are coming into IITs, NITs, IIITs through JEE Main or Advanced are far more capable, far more analytical, far more attitude is good. There's a lot of energy with them, but we have not exploited. And we are one of the institutes where we looked at what is called, we have a focus UG research program. What is this focus UG research program? We identify the students early at the end of second year and who have got good academics measured through CGPA and all that, and put them into an honors program. Unlike many universities which are offering honors program, wherein the students should accumulate credits by doing additional courses, the base program is X credits and the honors program is X plus A credits. Now, what we said is you need to acquire additional credits by not by doing a course, but doing a research work. At the end of 4 semesters, say 5, 6, 7, 8, they should either publish a research paper or file an IP or come out with a demonstrable product, prototype. And this is obviously a journal paper is reviewed, a conference paper is reviewed, an IP obviously goes through stages before it gets accepted or whatever. And the demonstrable product, we bring an expert team comprising of academics and industry people. Now this is a huge success. In many ways, it helps our students. The first one is that when they are applying for US universities for admission, they have a research paper or an IP that gets a tick mark. Or they get into jobs in the industry, and many of the service companies, many of the advanced technology companies want a research quotient in the student that we are able to develop over a period of time. So which is very successful, and we are increasing the number of students who are getting into the honors program. And the third is, I wanted to just talk to you about a UKRE mobility program that we carried out. Now, this program was originally a what you call a physical program, but we converted into a virtual mobility program, wherein you worked with teams of students from UK and teams of students from our institute, problem statements given by the industry, like ENY, Swiggy, and a few other companies. And the students worked over a period of 4 months and then came out with excellent solutions to it. And there are a lot of prize money, there are a lot of appreciation, and the entire campus learned in the process of how to do research, industrial research, all UG students. And then it is about integrating with startups. Every university or technology university has startups, right? Allow the students to go do internships there. And they are also looking for resources, good resources with less rewards. Obviously pay a small stipend, but allow these students to do a project, and we can create that opportunity. And the very important thing is what we call as UBA projects. We have adopted 5 villages under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and the students can take up a technology-based problem, and they can come out with a technology-based solution, and they earn 4 credits. Now, instead of doing a course sitting in the classroom, and they are more excited to do a project in the society context. And finally, what we have learned now is our curriculum is driven by projects. The delivery of curriculum is through projects, and every subject has got a project. And there are projects which are getting completed within a course. There are projects which are spanning across 3 courses, across 5 courses. And today, our curriculum is many of your engineering degree today, the total credit is about 160, 170 credits. Our curriculum is only 144 credits. We reduced, that's what the chairman is saying, reduce teaching, allow them to learn themselves by doing projects. And how to make it happen? Of course, first of all, yeah, I'm just closing, last slide. So this is more to do with how do you design your curriculum, okay? And your curriculum should be, need-based. And we are the only institute, government institutes, not teaching physics, chemistry in engineering. You don't teach physics, chemistry in engineering degree because we think it's not that relevant. Maths is relevant, but not physics and chemistry. What chemistry we feel in computer science and ECE, not relevant. Physics to an extent, obviously relevant. We teach wherever it is required in those courses. We don't teach. And the curriculum, we follow a philosophy. I'll talk to you later in the discussion or something. We follow philosophy called practice, theory, practice. Every course, first practice, then theory, then practice. In the entire curriculum structure is also that across courses, practice, theory, practice. And then it's about industry connectedness. And you look at, when you get to research projects, what are we telling to the funding agencies? We will do industry-oriented research. We will come out with the solutions and we publish papers. But is industry looking at those papers? Industry looking at those IPs? Are we creating commercial values out of those IPs? Very rarely. So why you have to go to funding agency, get a project and say that it is industry relevant, finally it is not industry relevant. Go to the industry directly, get their inputs and start doing some certain things. That is what we have done. I can, for time, I'm not getting into that. Recruit and train faculty. This is very important. So I come from NIT Trichy. I mean, originally I'm a deputation. NIT Trichy is the 8th top NIRF ranked university in technical institutions. And NIT Trichy does not have a faculty profile that I have in IIIT Sri City. All are PhDs from foreign universities and IITs. Now, how do we do that? Of course, you need to have mechanism to that. And if your faculty are already there, 10 years experience, 15-year experience, they cannot do this. You need to retrain them. They need to unlearn things that they have learned. That you need to really do it. And link research teaching context. Every research context you bring teaching, every teaching context you bring research. I mean, systematically you can do that. And finally, student-centeredness. This is very important. Today, student is only relevant for us teaching. We are not, of course, there are clubs and activities, but we are not putting the student at the center. And today there are mechanisms for us to do that. Finally, reward best practices and next practices. You need to really give rewards to those teachers who are really doing that. We all know that research and teaching is 2 eyes for us. One eye is research, one eye is teaching. I mean, both are important. And how do we ensure that importance, equal importance is always achieved? Okay, with that I'll stop, and I'll go on talking about it, but for want of time I'm closing it. Thank you so much. Sorry, sir.
Geeta Lakshmi, please.
Good evening, everybody. It is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker of today's session on the topic linking teaching and research. Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi is presently the Vice Chancellor, Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute, Chennai. She led several institutions all around the India. To name a few, she was the Vice Chancellor, the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, Director of Medical Education, Government of Tamil Nadu. She had experience in NAC. So with these few little introduction about Madam, I request you to deliver your talk.
Thank you very much for the brief introduction. I thought you would take a lot of time. Thank you very much. And I was also the Dean of the city medical colleges in Chennai city, all the 3 medical colleges, manning, which is about 11,000 beds hospital in the city of Chennai. And now with the 40 years of experience in medical field. So I could see that there are only few medical persons here, to be honestly telling, where the research doesn't happen that much in the medical institutions because of looking after the patients and getting into the 24-hour duties and other things. They are lack of time for these doctors to go into research, but still we want to continue the research in the medical field so that it hits up the height the sky. So with the available lot of funds from the ICMR and other DBT or DST, definitely with the interdisciplinary, we can go ahead. And I thank the Andhra University and the AIU for inviting me, and Pankaj Mittal, President, and others, my colleagues for inviting me for this talk on teaching and research, how it can be combined. Definitely, we know that teaching is the older pattern, which has been slowly be replaced by every year change in the curriculum, which we have to do, where most of the credit points to be given for the project-based learning in the each unit we teach for the students. So we would. So as you know that the students should know, it is divided into two parts, like the student oriented and the teacher oriented. So when we go to these are very simple one, but might be I've put it in a complicated way. So we have to know that what the student knows and know how he knows and shows what all he has known about the facts or the problems or the issues in the community. So with that, he has to enumerate, and we have to show and demonstrate, assist the students, prescribe them, integrate with the industry, and communicate, and interpretation and collaboration with the industries has to be done with more amount of guiding these students and correlating with criticism. We have to go ahead with these students. So each unit, I said, for the medical, it has to be project-based. So it is a subjective pattern where it is usually it is self-explanatory, and it has to be on a research methodology can be explained, which is a subjective pattern, which has been in a way where we can explain the students. And the objective pattern of explaining the students is it has to be self-explanatory with the common words which can be understandable, and graphs and plates so that they could understand easily. Yeah. So the teaching, the new research, which can be the older one or a new topic, which is issue-based in a community, or a problem-based health problems, or to make it easy, like for a community, so that in future they don't face the problems. So it is a two-way where the inputs, which can be turned into research, and inputs from the various agents, clientele, to determine we can also determine through the clientele research directions. And the other one is by result feed results feed and extension, where again it goes back to the teaching. Yesterday, I should say, the Andhra University, I went into the Innovation and Incubation Center, really lovely. I could see the students working on the projects, American projects, sitting there in a group of 10, 20, the whole hall filled up with the students working on the projects. And there were industrial people who wanted to innovate on their products, which were, I saw them from Roorkee and one from Chennai, who want to improve their products, and they had given their they were the clients of the for the mentor, who was Mr. Ravi here, and he was explaining. Really, it was very nice to listen all these, and that was the extension of their research. In fact, what they have been doing in the industry. So all this can be put forward to the students who would work on these research projects, which the clientele needs to improve and impoverish their products. Sorry. So I don't want to go into this. So that would be a knowledge sharing for the previous slide, which I told, and to form new ideas by the students through their guideship, through their mentors and the industrial people who want to improve the research methodology, which we know each one of us would know like different types of research methodology, which we have as a teacher to explain to the student in a way that they could understand that, which I told in you, that how it has to be explained to them rather than what we understand, because the capacity for us to understand this would be different from the capacity of a student. So we have to make them understand in such a way, with a way of demonstration, simulation, calling the industrialists, industrial people, explaining, having seminars, and also involving the student to conduct seminars and ask Socratic questions on the ideas or which the industrial people would come and have a symposium or a talk. So here you have the diversity in which research, teaching, and service has to be integrated. We have to keep it in mind. And this, I think so, the research teaching integration with scholarship of teaching, which a previous person, my speaker had told, and learning that promotes the success of a diverse student and faculty constituency on using diversity to promote learning. Scholarly efforts to understand successful evidence-based initiatives for teaching and a diverse student population should be a must. And research service integrity, scholarly efforts or collaboration to understand successful methods or evidence-based outreach and service initiatives for promoting and the success of a diverse student population or faculty constituency. Research in collaboration with a faculty colleague at an institution serving individual underrepresented in STEM projects. So teaching service integration should be there. Teaching in collaboration with an institution serving underrepresented individuals in STEM, and service learning with diverse local communities to build institution community bridges. So you have the advanced education must be for the postgraduates, where you have the pedagogical, where you go into the field and along with your curriculum, and which was the previous speaker had good, because bring down the curriculum, and during those curriculum you have to give them the pedagogical way of project, which is problem based, go into the field. And you have to have a partnering with the communities, knowing about the community with the having a scholarship of teaching and learning for the students. And they also have to develop leadership quality for governing a team. This has to be developed for the students, and also awareness of the community on health and wellness and the resilience of a community. And also we have to know the eco-friendly acceptable to whether it is acceptable to the community by having the analysis of the environment and a partnership with the for further innovation with the local authorities or an industry which is aligned to your ideas. So this teaching learning cycle, which is a research cycle, where for one example, if you get into the environmental research, you have to know about the nearby. This also applicable to the medical part or any other aligned disciplinaries, where you have to know about the nearby places and landscapes. You have to have a local approach. It should be pupil based, and now we have our we have the curriculum based education for medical, where the student from the first year should adopt 5 families in a community. I think so this can be utilized by the medical personnel or the teachers for research purpose. So pupil based and active participatory methodologies, interdisciplinary can be made, and you have to know about the history of the culture and the local heritage. Can you bring some water? It should be an interdisciplinary approach. And you have to know the emotional quotient of that particular area. And appropriation of local places and landscapes to be known. And acquisition of social, civic, and academic skills has to be there to be learnt by the student, and impact on finally the impact on the community at a local level to be made as an outcome. So the Miller hierarchical rule is which most of us will know that where the teacher do perform as a work-based assessment, 360-degree evaluation and treatment planning, seminars, portfolios, OSCE, and video recorded or clinical data has to be, auditing can be done, and show how to the student on the basis of OSCE, standardized, because I'm talking on the medical field, OSCE, standardized patient simulation, lab practicals, ask the students to go to the laboratory, like not the laboratory what we have in our medical college, to the pharmaceutical laboratory or a laboratory which is being doing stem cell or regenerative medicine. So you ask the students to go over there. And also about the softwares, which we have the iOS and the IoT right now, and metaverse, so they have to also know about it, where they have to, and bioinformatics and preclinical cadaver, then knows how the student knows how could we examine them, case-based or extended matching by MCQs, clinical problem solving, a short structured essay and interactive examination, which we do, but it has to be modified, and how he knows is by the oral or written with the context of MCQs, which has been now changed now to by the NEET for the exit exam, where we have the exit one. I think so most of the other people where it is all MCQ based, right? Then, and also the overall demonstration of their clinical skills and application of their knowledge, comprehension, synthesis, knowledge and facts, which we do, but we don't intentionally think about it. Like, okay, it's a routine matter of fact that we keep on doing all this. So the research cycle will identify the problem and envision a success, develop a plan of action, collect the data, analyze the data, and adjust the theory, and begin again with the criticism and whatever a guide or a mentor can make it with the industrial support. So I finished. So there are teaching and research. It can be case writing, case teaching, and case research, and case transfer, which is more into an integrated, but you can see through the slides which I have provided, and transforming the quality data into clinical insights to build a medical evidence for improved patient outcomes can be made through these research process, small research, which the students are going to the community. I want to say each students, we mechanically send the students to the community through the community medicine department. But these are the these are the workup we have to give to the students. So the next is data collection, which is very easy, where we can use the digital technology and data in medicine cycle with artificial intelligence. We have a lot of in our watch or wherever it is, where it is being fed into the system with the hospital management system. So we can take the data and come to a conclusion on what can be done to a research. So finally, the assessment is to improve they assess the quality and they produce the result and propose to possible improvement in the society through various analysis, development and design. So thank you all for giving me this opportunity for making this possible or today on teaching and research. Thank you. And I want to again say that this family adoption program can be utilized by our medical field for research. Thank you.
Next, may I request Professor Vivek Savaji to make his presentation.
I now take the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Professor Vivek Savaji, present Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapith, Pune, and former Vice Chancellor, AIU University, Academy of Higher Education. Dr. Vivek Savaji was born and brought up in a small taluka place.
Just short time in no long history. Huh? Yeah, okay, and very good morning to one and all, distinguished chair, respected all the esteemed vice chancellors. The outset, I must thank the AIU as well as the Andhra University for having me here for this important talk on linking teaching and research. So, indeed, a pleasure and honor to be here amongst the esteemed vice chancellors and share few of my thoughts. Of course, a lot has been said about research and all the themes relating to research since yesterday. So pardon me if some of the parts are going to be repeated. I think some of the slides, I'll try and skip those slides and maybe come to some important carry-home messages which are there. So I bring greetings from Pune, Bharati Vidyapith. It is one of the largest multi-faculty, multidisciplinary, multi-campus university, having close to about 25,000 students on the campus. So I think you're most welcome to visit our university. And I think as it was said yesterday, I think the net worth and network. So one of the parallel agenda is networking. And if we could collaborate with any one of you in any different areas, it would indeed be a pleasure and an opportunity. Well, I think coming to the topic, teaching and research. So it's needless to emphasize or re-emphasize that they're different. For that matter, they're all intrinsically linked and complementary to each other. So it cannot be that we separate. The predecessor said it's like two eyes. And absolutely right, in the sense that I think it cannot be de-linked. I think how we can link it and how we can get maximum or more out of it, that should be the question and that should be the challenge for all of us. Having said all this, I think these are some of the people, some great people, they've said that the founding principles of the university is collaboration between learning and research. That was way back in 1200 AD. And of course, again, the goal of education is developing an inquiring mind. We're always, I think, giving the instructions, we're passing the information. Now the information is available at the tip of a finger, and we really need to focus on is that how we are able to instill the spirit of inquiry amongst our students. And so I think, again, the apt quote way back, the mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. So I think this is the philosophy by which we will be able to bring research and the teaching together. Having said that, I think two important points here that I think why it is important, that is linking of teaching and research is central to higher education, and it's important for the students' intellectual development as well as for staff identity. I think again, I mean, how do we develop our identity, professional identity, personal identity is by our expertise in a focused area. So also, if the student's intellectual development has to be ensured, then we need to focus on, how do we arouse curiosity and the spirit of inquiry in this, amongst the students. And mind you, this doesn't come automatic. So it's not that, any teaching institute, I think it comes, there needs to be efforts and academic departments of the universities are central to developing these links. And so it's important that some conscious efforts towards that needs to be made. Well, again, how it is complementary to each other, I don't need to emphasize or re-emphasize. It's already been said that how good teaching is complementary to research, and how research, the rigor of research, how it helps in improving the teaching. So I'll not be repeating the points here, but it is, and it is something to be borne in mind that it is important. I would not, want to go on to some of these things, but we talk of pedagogy. And I think on the same line, I think now we need to talk about heterogogy, which is something which is carrying forward the pedagogical approach which is there. That is how I think the learners which are there, they are creating knowledge. It's the self-determined way of learning. We need to understand some of these terminologies which are there so that they're able to take this research agenda or link the research part which is there. So, it's about pedagogy, andragogy, and heterogogy, which is the new terminology that we really need to be looking at. And I think it's a self-determined. As an individual, I determine what I want to learn, how I want to learn, from where I want to learn, whether it's from the industry or whether it's from the community or whether it is from the classroom or library or from whichever it is there. And it is about the cultivation of the knowledge. So I think pedagogy, we talk about the cognition, understanding knowledge. Andragogy, we talk about negotiating knowledge. And when we say heterogogy, we talk about creating knowledge. And as I said, all this is linked. It's not that we look at them in isolation, or for that matter, we can look that in isolation. And then again, this is something a little more in detail about it, but what are the rules? So I think here the focus is on proactive and problem-oriented when we're talking of heterogogy. And in others, it is, the student-centric pedagogy is about learner is dependent on the teacher and so on and so forth, which is there. So that's something which we need to bear in mind. Again, I think we're talking about the importance of research, but I'll focus on next couple of slides as to how we can link research. And one of the areas is through the curriculum, making the research as a part of curriculum in many programs, whether it is technology driven or whether health sciences or liberal arts. Research is gradually being inducted as a part of curriculum, but many places it's not at an undergraduate level. Mainly it is at a postgraduate or maybe at a doctoral level, which is there. So making research part of curriculum. Now UGC has sent guidelines regarding establishment of the R&D cell in each university. And I think it should not be just for the sake of the papers, but it should be for the real purpose that it is set for. Again, it's mentioned about collaborations with industry and about all this introducing all these programs, electives. And of course, important is that we need to provide manpower and the financial resources to have a meaningful output, research output. And of course, it has also to be linked at as to why student or why the faculty should undertake it is because if it is not linked to the career, it is not linked to the personal or the professional growth, then obviously there will be less takers in that. So one of the approach is linking it is through the curriculum. The other to bring in practice is some of these principles, broad principles, which the institutions needs to imbibe is that there has to be always a culture and quality, I mean, a culture of quality. Again, it's been said yesterday also that how quality initiatives are really important, and unless, of course, we focus on quality, then only we will be able to move at a faster pace. Then, of course, there has to be an unquenching trust or quest for knowledge. I need to inculcate the spirit of inquiry in the students or in the faculty, and starting early. Again, yesterday, I think one of the sessions, Professor Dinesh Singh mentioned that we start late. We follow the, west or somewhere, and then something is there, and then I think we try and take that. So it's important starting early, and if you have to have a meaningful research outcomes, then of course self-discipline is equally important. You need to have some bursts of time dedicated for research, whether it is through your curriculum, whether it is over and above that, but that's discipline again is important if you want to have something meaningful, tangible. Out of box thinking, it's already been said. And then obviously, I think we need to be asking for accountability when we're giving them responsibility, because without accountability, without asking questions, freedom is important, autonomy is important. But with freedom, with autonomy, I think this accountability and responsibility also needs to be developed. And so what are some of the professional skills that are required? And maybe there are generic skills which are there, but unless, of course, as leaders, if we need to keep these in mind, that I think it is an era of collaboration. And unless, of course, we collaborate, then only we will be able to progress. So, I mean, institutes, industry, universities, departments, in majority of the institutions, I mean, A department doesn't talk to B department in the same college. And so forget about when it is talk about the institutions and about the universities and about the industry. I think if we want to progress, then obviously collaborations. And for that, I think we need to understand the nuances of teamwork, nuances of leadership, communication skill, obviously ITC literacy, particularly in health sciences. I mean, there is some sort of inertia or phobia as far as IT is concerned, and many a times it's said, no, it's not my cup of tea, but we need to be, aware about that. And then when we're talking about it, we also need to be focusing on ethical part of it, the professional part, that integrity, which is very important. And then I think all these things which are which have been said. I'll just give one or two examples, because these are the people who really made difference. Ernest Bowen and Charles Glassick. See, these are the people who really redefined, I mean, scholarship redefined. I will just take show one slide. And Glassick, he developed these standards. How do you evaluate research? On what parameters the research at the university level can be evaluated? And they have done some pioneering work which is there. These are the Glassick standards which are there to evaluate any research project which is there. And if it stands that scrutiny, obviously, I think it will have a good, meaningful or tangible outcomes which are there. And again, because we are all academicians, we are all primarily focuses on teaching. So, I mean, teaching to scholarship, we are all at this teaching. Then we from teaching to quality teaching, and quality teaching to scholarly teaching, and then scholarship in teaching. And medical or in health science, or for that matter in academic institutions which are there. I think when we're talking of research, we mainly talk of biomedical research, or we mainly talk of research with industry, but we don't talk of research of teaching, educational research. I mean, how do we really, we adopt lots of things from the West, but we're not developing our own educational methodologies which can be developed and which can be published. So I think that's something which is important. That is the research and teaching, how all these things are linked. But I think the last slide, the most important slide which I feel is that we need to focus, domains of scholarship or domains of research for us in the university sector. That is primarily, scholarship of discovery. The Boyer defined these 4 domains of research which are there, that is a scholarship of discovery, that is what is true or creating new knowledge, scholarship of application, that is whatever new knowledge has been created, whether it is applicable or not, and scholarship of integration, that is we're talking of interdisciplinary, integrated with industry, with academia and the other community and so on. And finally, the scholarship of teaching, that is educational research. So we ask, I mean, many a times in the university or academic section areas, we keep talking about, I mean, research means fancy labs, research means significant funding, research means only something original discovery or something which is there. But for us, as you said, there can be ample opportunities. It's not just about discovery, but it's all the scholarly work can be in the domains of application, integration, and teaching. So I want to leave you with this thought. And finally, I think we're all researchers now. Teaching and research are becoming even more intimately related in knowledge society. All students, certainly all graduates, have to be researchers. Not only are they engaged in production of knowledge, they must also be educated to cope up with the risks and uncertainties generated by the advance of science. So I think that's by one of the, again, famous authority in the this academic world. And I think it's needless to say that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So friends, I think it's time, I mean, though we may say that we're all academic leaders, but we need to constantly evolve ourselves and I think be the change agents as the situation and time demands. Thank you very much.
Next, I call for
I now introduce the next speaker of today's session, Professor Nimma Venkatrao Garu, Professor of Education, former Dean, Faculty of Education, present Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam. Dr. Nimma Venkatrao Garu has delivered several talks on All India Radio. To name a few, talk on committees and commissions recommendations on Indian education in All India Radio, a talk on drug to death broadcasted in All India Radio in Yuvavani, a talk in Telugu, Aksharaja Karyakramam, Dani Prabhavam, in Pragatipadam in All India Radio, a talk on Girijanaluku Anyata Vidya Avasaralu broadcasted in All India Radio in Yuvavani Karyakramam. Sir, we invite you to deliver your lectures.
Thank you, madam. So good morning to all the vice chancellors of different universities in the southern region and the chairman, AP State Council of Higher Education, who is the leader of the higher education system in the state of Andhra Pradesh, Professor K. Hemchandra Reddy Garu, my senior teacher, a technocrat, Professor G.S.N. Raju Garu, and all colleagues, friends, and the organizers. So today, before I share my views with regard to the topic that is assigned on linking teaching and research, I would like to present my university with a couple of minutes. So Ambedkar University, earlier it was a PG center, AIU PG center, and later in the year 2008, the PG center was elevated to a state university by the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy. The university has now started the programs, 3 constant colleges, College of Arts, Commerce, Law and Education, College of Science, and College of Engineering. The university is having 121 the affiliate colleges catering 55,000 students, and university under 3 constant colleges, nearly 3,000 students are enrolled. And we have in the 2 years of my tenure, we got the NAC accreditation, that is NAC B grade in 2021, October 5th. And we also started the new courses, keeping in view of the NEP 2020, the job ensured program, rather job oriented program, rather skill development programs. The one is the MSc Chemical Technology with the tie-up with local industry, NACL. And this program is capacity building program. And another one is the MSc Chemistry postgraduate internship program for 4 months, which is tie-up with Aurobindo Pharma. The stipend will be given. Soon after the completion of the program, these students will be absorbed in the Aurobindo Pharma. This is job ensured program. And another one, keeping in view of the government of Andhra Pradesh has sanctioned several projects in the area of the Andhra Pradesh. We started the courses, skill development programs to suit with the newly sanctioned projects. That is the 3 PG diploma programs of 1 year duration. And instead of that, this year, we also started 2 engineering programs. Besides, already we have 3, so 5 engineering programs are being offered through Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University. And also we have introduced the online system of payments. We also introduced the DigiLocker system. And also we have constructed the G+2 floors of 55,000 square feet to accommodate the 325 students in the campus. It is going to be inaugurated. And also we have started a 6-month certificate course, keeping in view of the NEP 2020 for the Anganwadi instructors working in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And also we have applied for the BSc BEd, BAB, that is the 4-year ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program. With the support of the government, we got the letter of intent by the NCTE to start the 4-year integrated program from the academic session 23-24. In addition to that, we have 2 languages under the MOU between the government of Andhra Pradesh and the government of Odisha. Ambedkar University was given Odia chair to promote the language of Odia and to conduct research and to conduct the survey. Next. Okay. Okay. So we have also certain constraints. Earlier, one Vice Chancellor has said our entire time is allocated to the examinations, evaluation, and teaching and learning. So where is the time to spend on research? So several constraints we are having, only with the turning shortage of faculty, but yet we are moving forward to cater the needs of
the phone risk and the entire report. So it's not.
So next, coming to the point,
who are the people you are shortlisting?
And the research. So there is already established relation between teaching and research. Need to develop. First of all, the Kothari Commission, popularly known as Kothari Commission, but Indian Education Commission 64-66 categorically stated the first line of the entire report. The destiny of the nation is being shaped in her classrooms. So the teacher is the first and foremost pillar for the development of the entire education system. Even in the UGC also categorically stated the responsibilities of the teacher is teaching, research, and extension activity. And NP in 1986, before existence of the NEP 2020, also categorically stated that the roles of the teacher is enrollment, retention, and attainment. Enrollment means it is the duty of the teacher to see that the school-going population is to be enrolled. And the enrolled child should continue till the completion of the prescribed program or other prescribed course. And the third one, the levels, the minimum levels of learning that is prescribed should be attained by the child. So these are the responsibilities of the teacher. And another important aspect is the entire system of education, the most important principle that has been neglected by the entire world is to prepare the child to receive the education. We have been providing the knowledge, but we have to prepare the child, we have to motivate the child to receive the education. That is neglected in the, not only in our country, in the entire world. That has to be attended. And another important one is there are several researches conducted, and the findings are also have gone through in several books. What are the findings with regard to the school education is the children, instead of running to the school, they are run away from the school. So what could be the reasons why the dropout rate is increased? Why the children are not attending the school? Why the children are attending the schools instead of the government schools? They are attending private schools instead of government schools. So several observations. The first one is the school environment is not conducive. So several times right from the beginning, in 75 years have elapsed, but no action has been taken either in the government, either in the central government or in the state governments. The another one is the attitude of the teacher towards the child. So teacher attitude should be always positive. And the third one is the poverty. So poverty is the main hurdle on the part of the parents to send their children to the schools. So these are and the other one is the illiteracy of the parents. Most of the parents are not educated and they are not realized the need and importance of education. So these are the constraints, these are the recommendations, but governments have failed to implement. But in the state of Andhra Pradesh, the first of its kind in the entire country, these issues were addressed. Because under the Nadu scheme, all the schools are renovated. So now the children, the earlier statement is children instead of running to the school, they are run away from the school. Now the children are attracting towards the schooling. Yes. So another important one is the attitude. So the teacher attitude should always be positive. That is why there is one observation. The teacher has a certain viewpoint, certain view of life. He may be the optimistic or he may be the pessimistic. He may be idealistic, he may be materialistic. He may be positive or negative. Whatever may be the view the teacher may have. But his views, his ideas should not be imposed on the child. That the child be allowed to grow on his own. That the child be allowed to learn on his own. That is why it is another observation. The teacher should not interfere or force the child to learn in a particular way or a certain rate. It should be you should leave the child on his own. Tell the learner as little as possible, let him discover as much as possible. That means only you have to teach one chapter and the rest of the chapters are left to the student. No. So you have to assist the student throughout the process of learning, wherever the guidance is required, wherever the student is confused, wherever the other support mechanisms have to be provided to the student. And in the recent past, we have almost all we have practiced the blended mode of learning. It is an alternative approach. So first and foremost thing is to be cultivated among the students to learn on his own. So motivational inputs are that much required, but these are all the the online, blended mode or supplementary, these are all the alternative approaches. And with regard to the research, I have conducted several researches and I have attested several topics to my students. Nearly under my guidance, 66 the PhDs were awarded on different areas: teacher education, primary education, school education, higher education, special education, women education, tribal education, and mostly the government policies. One is I would quote, when the Rajshekhar Reddy Garu was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he introduced the tuition fee reimbursement. So I conducted a survey. I attested the topic to one of my PhD scholars. He has produced his thesis and developed and awarded the PhD also. Therein, all the students of graduates, social sciences, arts, humanities were shifted from graduate to the engineering courses. So this is the one way advantage. The other way is the social sciences are losing the admissions. What could be the reason? Is it a plus or minus? So the parents' aspirations are fulfilled when the tuition fee reimbursement scheme was introduced by the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. Parents are also, not only the students have dreams to become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever may be the teacher, but the parents have some realizations, some dreams to make them their children towards a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. And another important one is also, another policy study is teachers stay at workplace. The government of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Rajshekhar Reddy Garu issued a JO that the teachers should stay in their workplaces, and where the teacher is posted, he is supposed to stay. The teachers' organizations have opposed the JO. I conducted one survey. I entrusted another my PhD scholar to do research on this particular area. This is more helpful to the society. When the teacher is staying in that particular area, particular school where he is posted, he is accessible to the students and he can able to spend more time with the public, because there are several projects, several schemes were intended to the public. Ms. Indira Gandhi, when she was the Prime Minister of India, said, literacy is a tool of development and eradication of illiteracy is important most for conquest of poverty and for healthy functioning of the government system. Which means our programs, any party, any government, through their programs, again, they will come to the power. So most of the programs are introduced by the governments, but the people should realize this program is intended for me. But in the case of Andhra Pradesh, now there are several programs are being introduced by the government of Andhra Pradesh. The Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan-Mohan Reddy Garu. One is the Amavodi. Earlier, parents are not supposed to send their wards to the schools because of their poverty. Now each and every mother is being paid 15,000 rupees per month. And another important aspect is in higher education also, Vidya Devana and Vasudha Devana. So the student, the entire cost is being borne by the government. Now the parents are free. The students has also no hurdles with regard to the completion of the education. And another important aspect is as far as the teachers are concerned. So pedagogical orientation, that much is required with regard to the research. So research is not for sake of research. Today, most of the teachers, most of the students, once they have completed, once they are awarded PhD degrees, the moment they join in the teaching. So this PhD work is not at all helpful to them. So the pedagogical orientation is that much required. Otherwise, teaching cannot be effective. So for instance, there are several Okay. Yeah. So in this aspect, what I feel that the teacher should be equipped with the latest information and with the latest knowledge. And mostly in the allocations, there are sectoral inequalities and intra-sectoral inequalities. Whereas in the education is even today, between 3.2 to 4% was allocations were made by the government of India. Whereas in certain sections, certain sectors like defense was given top. So within the sector, intra-sector inequalities are also exist. For example, higher education is given less priority than that of the school education. This should be addressed by the governments. This AIU, Association of Indian Universities, should represent the central and state governments to see that the problems that are existing to be resolved. Simply not for the conducting the seminars, seminars or conferences, and the governments are not taking care of any resolutions of the policies or the recommendations of the policy bodies. So even without any recommendations given by the policy bodies in the state of Andhra Pradesh, all the issues, all the research findings that are now attended by the government of Andhra Pradesh. So I must thankful to the government of Andhra Pradesh for providing such a attention to the higher education, to the school education and education, especially in the entire country. The higher education received, the school education received more attention from the government of Andhra Pradesh. So thank you one and all for giving me the opportunity to share my ideas with you all. Basically, I'm a professor of teaching, teacher education. So thank you, one and all.
Well, thank you, all the speakers. I think we have a few minutes for some quick suggestions, comments. We are already running out of time, so make it crisp, quick. Very few comments we can accommodate. Yeah, please.
Hello. Yeah, I am Professor Krishnan, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tamil Nadu. It's a wonderful session how we can connect the curriculum with the industry, but still we need a clear structure how to connect it, because when you are going for the credit system, if you want to get the degree, for example, MSc Biotechnology, so 75% of the credits should come from that a particular subject. Then only you can eligible to get the credit. That's the UGC norms where we are having. That number one, we have to take care of that. Additional credit, how we can include that, number one. Number two, even today, if you are seeing that a program called DST Pulse, so where we are they are announcing that NARF ranking and also H index is going to the criteria to award the money from 15 crores to 30 crores. So where we are going to give the scale when you are going to interact with the curriculum and industry. Is it way of product or the patent or intellectual property right? So it should be very clear when we are going to implement in the universities, particularly central universities. Please.
Any other? Yeah.
Very good morning to all the dear Honorable Vice Chancellors. And at the very outset, I thank the Association of Indian Universities for having chosen this place as its venue for this South Zone meeting. I'm very much proud that I'm a proud alumni of this Andhra University, and I have been attending the session since last yesterday and today. But what we do, we try to ignore the credentials made by the universities, though the universities are central or state funded universities. In the last couple of years, the so-called deemed universities have been actually coming up in the front in terms of research as well as their rankings. For example, presently where I am heading the University Savita University, it has actually ranked number one in the field of dental dentistry for 2022. Also, it's in the global ranking of 18 in the global rankings. So my suggestion to the AIU, because this is a kind of umbrella of the associations of the universities, then at least we should recognize the universities which are actually faring better, irrespective of their like entity, whether it is a private, deemed, or central or state funded universities. The recognition is not in terms of financial recognition. Most of the private universities do not even require the funding other than the research. Government DST for last 25 years. I mentioned also receiving the grant from DST and also and so forth. But the recognition by the association itself will be great for the university. Or if they are doing some innovation. So this is our responsibility as a body which is actually controlling, not controlling, but an association. We can just to provide some kind of recognition for anybody who is doing well. So that gives an inspiration to that particular university as well as the students who are studying there. So I think this is my humble submission. Maybe when we meet next time in Shillong or Meghalaya, so we can keep it in mind that to identify the people who are faring better and who are actually bringing some name to the particular state as well as the country also. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, this is Dr. Balkisha Shetty, Vice Chancellor, Siddhartha University, Tumkur. As far as teaching and research is considered, what I would like to say that that students teaching, they should have interest in doing research. Any one-way talking, one-way teaching, I don't think teachers will have, the students will have interest. What I say that there should be an inclusiveness of the students to the research. As long as we see that the marks are given only for learning and there are no marks for research, I don't think any student will have an interest in research. So we need to give some points, some credits for student research, number one. Like most important is instead of one-way classrooms, interactive classrooms. Like as you enter the classroom, you start asking questions to the students. That's what is called as a flipped classroom, which is very, very popular nowadays. We ask the students to read and come to the classroom, and we start asking the questions, and we interact with the students. That makes the student to do more and more research. And the community-based research is also very, very important. And the third and the most important thing I would like to say that for the students to do the research, there is a lot of hurdles. Like you need to go through the professor, you need to do the hurdle, the HOD, principal, vice chancellor. What we did in our university that a student can directly log on to the vice chancellor. If he has got an innovative idea, he can directly give it to the vice chancellor, and the funding should come directly to the student, not through so many steps and not through so many hurdles. So that is what is called the student directly interacting with the vice chancellor. The fund should go to the student. I think that time we can encourage, we can mobilize a lot of research from the students. And finally, I think each and every student should be given incentive, maybe in the form of attendance, maybe in the form of academic credits, maybe in the form of financial credits. These three things will definitely help the students to do more and more research. I am Professor Veerabhadra, Vice Chancellor, Government University, Karnataka. My humble submission for the House is to see as to how we will be able to create a good environment. I earnestly appeal AIU make this effort to see that we will be able to create a very good research environment, teaching as well as research, particularly for the younger generation. I was in Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard. I have seen younger students do greater research than teaching community. Number two, most important is what we understand in NEP, the cluster approach, where all institutions should come together for teaching as well as research. There should not be any compartmentalization, stating as to how this institution can go for specialization of this institution can go for specialization of this type. Number three, most important, institutional collaboration. I think that's what is more important when our Honorable Prime Minister addressed all of us in Varanasi summit. He was talking about more semblance between universities. All vice chancellors should come together for experience under NEP. That is very, very important. And that is what is my humble submission to the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So there are no more questions. We conclude. We are very interesting discussion on an important topic of linking teaching and research. We all understand the importance of this topic. We all agreed on increasing requirement of this linkage to create knowledge, economic and social values, innovation, and so on. Several models have been discussed here by the speakers. I'm sure these are all important points to be noted, and these points, I'm sure, become the takeaway of this session. I thank you all the speakers of this session, and everyone present here. On personal behalf, I thank AIU and Andhra University for giving me this honor of chairing this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I, on behalf of AIU and Andhra University, propose the formal vote of thanks for the session on linking technology and research, teaching and research on behalf of AIU and the host institute, Andhra University. I extend my sincere thanks to the chairman of this session, Dr. K.N. Madhusudan, Vice Chancellor, Cochin University of Science and Technology. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the speakers of this session. My special thanks to the chairman APSHI, Professor Hemchandra Reddy Garu, our Vice Chancellor, Professor PVGD Prasad Reddy Garu, and all AIU officials for taking part in this session, and all the Vice Chancellors for actively participating in this session. Thank you very much. We'll have a short tea break and then we'll come back for the business session. Thank you. The tea break is
Recording stopped.
Business session and open to లేదా?
Recording in progress.
Welcome to business session అని ఏం లేదా? Yeah, record everything. Still my question is. Vice President. You are going to the Vice President. President will be. I have to bring in the. You didn't check out?
I kept the back ready. I can ask somebody to take it out.
This is the last career outlook report which we had published. First report was yours. You can have this copy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, yes, nobody is there. Okay. Shall we start?
Oh, yes.
You were here yesterday.
We can start. Welcome back to the AIU business session. The main aim of AIU session is for the member university vice chancellors to put forth the problems, the zonal wise problems faced by the individual vice chancellors in the discharge of the duties, which he or she thinks can be solved by the collective wisdom or collective efforts of all the member vice chancellors. Discuss the issues related to AIU body, its head office and discharge of duties. Share the unique best practices which can help the fellow vice chancellors to improve the functioning of their universities and any other item with the permission of the chair. I now take the privilege of introducing the chairperson of this session, Professor G.D. Sharma Garu. Professor G.D. Sharma, Vice President, AIU, Vice Chancellor, USTM, Meghalaya. Professor G.D. Sharma is the Vice President of the Association of Indian Universities, New Delhi, and the Vice Chancellor of University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. A very seasoned academic of the country, Professor Sharma held many important positions apart from being Vice Chancellor at the University of Nagaland, Assam University, and Bilaspur University. He is a Fellow of Royal Society, London, UK, and INSA, India, under an exchange program. He is conferred with Dr. Narasimham Medal Award by Indian Philosophical Society, Rashtriya Ratna Award by International Study Center, Deed Award by Confederation of Indian Universities, and many other awards to his credit. He's also got the Vidya Ratna National Seminar by All India Higher Research Sanskrit Outstanding Educational Contribution Award by CIMI, New Delhi. I now take the privilege of introducing the Secretary General, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, sir, madam. Yes. Dr. Pankaj Mittal, madam, is the Secretary General of the Association of Indian Universities. Earlier, she served as Founder Vice Chancellor of Bhagatpur Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Haryana, for 2 terms, and Chief Commissioner of Bharat Scouts and Guides. She has served in the University Grants Commission of India for over 3 decades in different capacities, including the post of Additional Secretary. She has received Fulbright Nehru Scholarship Grant for Educational Administrators. She is the recipient of the several awards and honors, including the President of India Award in 2017 for digital initiatives in higher education. Madam, I request you to take the session, to give your presentation in this session.
So thank you very much. First of all, thanks to Andhra University, the Vice Chancellor of the university, and the entire team who has been making a lot of efforts in making this conference successful. This AIU business session is basically to share with you what AIU has been doing in the past 1 year. And if we have any suggestions from you, like just now we had a suggestion from Savita University for having a excellence award, sort of AIU excellence awards, maybe in research, teaching or something, maybe we'll work on it. It's not very easy to select a university based on the right parameters and in the right manner, but we will do for it. So in around 10 minutes, I will tell you what AIU is and what it has been doing in the last 1 year. So if you have any suggestions, we can incorporate, and then maybe in the next year, we can do all those activities which are being suggested if it is feasible. So very quickly, I'll go towards for the presentation. So as you all know that AIU came into existence in 1925. It was at that time of point known as Inter-University Board, and then it became Association of Indian Universities in 1967 as a society. And the stalwarts like Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Dr. Zakir Hussain, and Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, they have been the presidents of AIU in the past. Next. Sorry. So this is the entire membership of AIU. We have 924 members at present, and this is the largest association of the world. Even the International Association of the World or Association of Commonwealth Universities, they do not have these many members. And this is the largest association. I mean, in 3 ways it is unique. It is the largest association and the second oldest association. Oldest is ACU. This is the second oldest. And then this is the only association which is doing a lot of activities, for example, sports, youth affairs, equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees, academics, research, no other. And it is also NSPO, National Sports Promotion Organization, designated by the Government of India. So no other organization in the world is doing all these activities under one umbrella. And the membership, when I say it is including all types of universities, whether it is central universities, state universities, deemed private universities, or INI. So all are members of AIU, including 14 foreign universities who are the associate members. These are the functions and activities. I won't elaborate on them because I want to talk about what you want us to do. And I also want to tell you what we have done in the last year. So these are basically the activities which we have been interested with. So in youth affairs, we do conduct cultural festivals at the level of zonal, national, Asian, and international level. I'm sure your students must be participating in all those youth festivals. We also hold literary events, music, dance festivals. Right now, we are also collaborating. Last year, we had this collaboration with ICCR for International Buddhist Festival and Buddhist Chair. So we did send a letter to all the universities that if you want to establish a Buddhist chair in your universities, do write to us. It will be a fully funded Buddhist chair from the ICCR. So if you have somebody who wants to establish a Buddhist chair, you can write to us. We are now also holding the AIU moot court competition. First was held in this university, National University in Patiala. The next one is in Sister Nivedita University. And we are also holding now AIU Women Youth Parliament. Last year we wanted to hold, but because of COVID, we could not do it. So this year, this is being held in Hari Singh Gord Central University in Sagar. So do send your students for the AIU Women Youth Parliament. That will be a very big event. In sports, you would be knowing that we are again holding something like 225 championships, and around 5 lakh students are participating. And the biggest feather to the cap of AIU was AIU Khelo India University Games. So 2 Khelo India University Games have been held so far. Both were inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. The first one was at KEET University, Bhubaneswar, and the second was last year at Jan University in Bangalore. And I also request all the vice chancellors that do come at least. I mean, this is a game which is held for about 10 days. So at least for 1 or 2 days, please come and witness those games. It will encourage the participants, other participants, and your own students who are participating. And it is a very good experience. It looks as if you have come to some Asian Games or Olympic Games. It's held at that level. So please do visit wherever the games are held next time. Next. And for the first time, we are also holding the World University Games and the Asian University Games in India. So one is being held in KEET University, Asian University Games volleyball, and the World University Games in shooting in Manav Rachna. So in case your universities have very good sports infrastructure, you please let us know so that in future, if such an opportunity comes, we can recommend your university for holding such games. So equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees, that is a responsibility which has been given to us by the Government of India, that we have now computerized fully. So you can apply online, pay online, and even get the downloadable equivalent certificate online. No need to come to AIU. And this time the government has also given us the responsibility of equating the school boards within India also. Foreign school boards, so we were already doing. But this time we are also doing the equivalence of school boards. So some universities are having the school boards like AMU is having, Jamia is having, or maybe there are some private school boards, for example, Bharatiya Shiksha Board, Sandeepani. So they are coming to us for the equivalence. These are the 5 conferences for this year. The 4th one, South Zone, is being held today in this Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. The last zonal conference will be held in Aurangabad, Marathwada University on 21st and 22nd February. So now that all the conferences are held in blended mode, so the concept of zonal is slowly fading away. It is only related with the physical presence. So physical presence is, I mean, the universities who are in that particular zone, they can attend it physically, but all the universities can attend all the conferences virtually. And as has been being told since yesterday, the national conference will be held on 23rd to 25th March in USTM University, Meghalaya. Again, I want to make it clear that Meghalaya is near, this university is near Guwahati, not near Shillong. So when you book your tickets, don't book the tickets to Shillong, book the tickets to Guwahati. From Guwahati, it is only 40 minutes from the airport to the university. And Dr. G.D. Sharma is there. He is the Vice Chancellor of USTM University, and he is making excellent arrangements for all of you. Arrangements have already been made actually. So please do visit, and it will be a very good conference. So please do come. New initiatives. One is AIU portal we have started, in which we are computerizing all the activities of AIU. So all the universities must have got the login ID and password. So 910 universities are already registered. And if any of you doesn't have the login ID and password, if you are not registered on the AIU portal, please do it at the earliest. The online payment gateway has been implemented. So even the AIU subscription fee that can be paid on the online payment gateway. We are also making AIU admission portal. That means that suppose somebody wants to do BSc in chemistry, he wants to know which all universities are there in the country which are offering BSc chemistry or MSc or whatever program. So at one place they will be able to get it, but that will be happening only if you enter your data on the AIU portal. So please enter the complete data on the AIU portal. Similarly, for the AIU handbook, again, that is something which is, I mean, these are such thick volumes, around 3 to 4 volumes will be there. All the foreign universities refer to AIU handbook whenever they want to know about any Indian university. So, and this handbook is published once in 4 years. So this time we are publishing in 2023. After that, it will be in 2027. So if you miss the bus today, then you will be able to board it after 4 years only. So please fill in your data, complete data about the university, so that we can include it in the AIU handbook. And all that is online. You don't have to send any email, nothing. Just online, you have to fill all the information. Similarly, AIU VC seniority portal, you have seen that the AIU VC seniority is important, especially for not only for us, but for the government also. They also come to, I mean, they keep on asking from AIU that who is the senior most VC, what is the seniority of these VCs. So please fill in your seniority, means the number of years you have served as the Vice Chancellor of any university. So you can send that name of the university, the dates, the portal gives all the details. So please fill in your seniority list. This is something which we are doing in internationalization. We have been signing MOU with many organizations, like NUS is the organization of Mexican universities like AIU. UUKI is the association of UK universities like AIU. And we are doing many work with UNESCO, World Bank. But one thing which I want to highlight here is in his Indian Network for Internationalization of Higher Education. So this network we are making for the universities, Indian university, like most of the countries have a network for international higher educators. India doesn't have it so far. So we are making this network so that the universities who want to do internationalization, because you know that in India only 50,000 international students are there, something like 8 to 10 lakh students go out from India every year. So we want to have more international footprint on in the Indian universities in forms of students, in terms of faculty, in terms of collaborations. It could be teaching collaboration, research collaboration, semester exchange, student exchange, teacher exchange, so many types of collaboration. But then we did realize in many of such conferences that there are universities who want to do internationalization, but they don't know how to do it, how to go about it, whom to talk to, whom to collaborate with. So this particular network has been established for, especially for those universities who have the intent for internationalization, but they don't know how to do it. So this will be there'll be a lot of hand holding, and we'll be helping you with the internationalization and with the collaborations. Others are, okay, we are doing many activities with British Council, Australian High Commission. So all these are there. Then research, these are the new initiatives. The UNESCO third conference of UNESCO Higher Education, we did participate, and the 10 papers which were submitted by us are lying on the UNESCO website. And these are the one more thing which I want to tell you is about the consultancy services. So consultancy services, again, many universities find it difficult for preparing some papers for, say, NEP implementation or NAC rating or NIRF ranking or internationalization or SDG implementation. So even University Society Connect. So we are now having a panel of consultants. So in your universities, it could be both ways. You can enroll your faculty members as consultants, and you can seek consultancy also. So we are doing a matchmaking in the sense that we are identifying consultants. We will be having a panel of consultants on different specializations. And if a university wants consultancy, we will be giving the consultancy. And this will not be a commercial activity in the sense, it will be on sort of a no profit, no loss type. We will be giving money to the consultant and the universities will be paying, but not that high amount which is being taken by the private consultants. But of course, it cannot be free because those consultants have to be paid something. We are also doing, I mean, we did a paper on National Accreditation Council. Many vice chancellors participated and it was taken up very well by the government of India. We also did a national level consultation on entry of foreign universities in India. Again, we have sent the feedback. I mean, what are we now doing is that whenever the UGC or the government of India is seeking feedback from various universities, so many a times the universities are reluctant and they don't find time to give feedback individually. So we do hold a national level consultation meeting and collective feedback is given to the government. So they are also happy because at one place they get it. We are also happy because the voice of our universities are heard through the AIU. These are some of the publications which we brought out during COVID and right now also. These are also the publications. The directory of AIU, I think you must have got. Sorry, the AIU directory, has everybody received the new directory in which the phone numbers and everything is there? Okay. So that is all. Thank you very much. So me and Dr. G.D. Sharma, who is the Vice President of AIU, shortly going to be the President of AIU, we are here. For any of your suggestions, we are here to note down, please. If there are no suggestions, that will mean that we are doing very well. Please, Mike.
A very good morning to all of you, sir. Madam, thank you. The AIU is doing a wonderful job. Even the COVID time, I appreciate the job what you have done. You didn't leave any program, but the routine way you have done it. Okay. So I do not want to take much of your time. And actually, madam, so most of the universities look at it, NAC accreditation, if you go there, only the research component, they are getting less mark. Can you contribute something in that? What I feel is, we are depending on foreign journals. So the AIU can start the various disciplines, some journals, so that we can say to the world a new, I mean.
So AIU is planning to have its own high impact factor AIU journal on higher education. We cannot be having discipline-wise journals, but we are going to start a AIU journal on higher education, which will be a quarterly or maybe half-yearly journal, and in which we will be having very good articles on higher education.
That should be recognized by UGC.
Yes, of course. We will start, if we start, it will be recognized.
That one, madam. The second point, madam, the university point of view, every university, it has its own vision, mission. Okay. If you look at NAC, they want a diversity ratio, a foreign, mainly foreign student. So some of the institute, the regional way they started, such type of diversity will be difficult. And not only that, even staff, 100% staff member with PhD, that is also will be difficult, getting PhD in discipline. But the NAC criterion, marks are awarded only that, and we are narrowly missing credit. So it depends on the university. Even another one is already the last meeting itself, I highlighted different categorization you made it. Why don't you make different categorization, NAC accreditation also, these universities, so that, we are missing it.
So this suggestion you should be giving in the interface meeting with the regulatory bodies, because this is a suggestion for NAC, not for AIU. So that is why we
suggest, madam.
So that is why we hold that particular section, so that you can tell whatever are your difficulties with the regulatory bodies. So we will of course tell, but then next time when the regulatory body session is there you must raise this issue.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Madam, one suggestion. Because AIU is in charge of almost all the universities of the country. That means you are in charge of almost all the students of this country. You are the chief executive officers. But now in all these meetings, what we discuss is research and accreditation and all those processes. But I think we should focus on what India needs now. I'll tell you, India is the fifth, as far as economy is considered, it is fifth in the world. As far as satellite technologies is almost a third in the world. As far as, but the few things which we need to focus is the literacy rate. As an association of Indian universities, just compare our research literacy rate with other countries. It is hardly 35% or 37%. Okay, 27%. Why can't we focus on this, madam? Number one. Number two.
No, literacy rate is not 27%.
Gross. I'm telling for the GR, for the next meeting when we are going to have it in Assam, I think Meghalaya, sorry. I think we should focus on what is important for our country. Baswaraj sir told research should have a social impact, not just a publication impact. We are focusing on research. Western countries would say that we don't have research, so that we will send more and more articles to their own publications for their own journals. We send money to them and all those. So that is not important. What is important for All India Association of Universities is number one, how can we increase the literacy rate of our country? I'll tell you, as far as I'm a doctor, I'm telling the maternity mortality rate. If you say we are 140 out of 180 countries, the children mortality rate, it is much worse. And the rate of hunger in our country, it is worse than any other country. I think next meeting, forget about this research, madam. If I tell you, if you open the most important journals, the topmost journals, and you read the articles, 50% of the articles are totally useless. They are just there in the article just for the sake of publication, for taking promotions or something like that. They don't have any social impact. So I'll tell you, research should not be the focus of our association. Our focus should be social impact. How much we can contribute to the child literacy and hunger rate, maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate. If you focus on this next All India meeting, we'll be very happy, madam.
Thank you very much. I'll just share two things with you. One is sustainable development goals, which she is also saying, which includes all these mortality rate and all. So last year, we spent one full year on realizing SDGs through HEIs, that how higher education institutions can help in realizing the SDGs, and very good suggestions came, and we are coming out with a report with that also. Second thing regarding GER, we again did a study on EER. That is eligible enrollment ratio. So when we calculate GER, it is the total people in the age group of 18 to 23. Out of that, say 100 people, how many are into higher education? So that is 27. But then all those 100 are not eligible to take higher education because they are not past 12th class. So if we have 18 to 23 age group, the persons who have passed 12th class, out of that, how many are going to higher education? The ratio for India is 67%, which is comparable with any developed country. So there, it was a paper which was shared with all the members. Also, it was published in Economic and Political Weekly also. And there we were mentioning that the comparison is wrong because the school pass outs are not that many. So if the school pass outs are that, I mean, out of the school pass outs, the eligible population, the 67 is not a bad figure because we want people for, I mean, everybody should be going for higher education. So that is also an issue, that how we calculate various things. But certainly we will look into it. Thank you. I sent it to all. Did you receive?
Madam, all the universities are looking for a complete digitalization of the university administration, partially or completely, no? Whether AIU can support in this mechanism, because we are, most of the players are coming and approaching us on different players, no? So do you have some consultancy more on this line?
This issue has been raised in our governing council time and again, that can we negotiate on behalf of all the universities with one agency to
not at least a panel of agencies,
maybe 1 or 2 or 3 agencies to give a good rate to the universities, and then universities can be engaging those institutions. But every time it looks as if it becomes a commercial activity, and there can be both ways. No, I mean, it can be seen from both angles.
So no solution.
No, no solution means we can again think of it. That should we negotiate on behalf of universities, we can tell them that, okay,
Panel can be approved.
we will think about it.
Can I add a point to what Dr. Balkrishna Reddy Shetty just mentioned? The main focus of any university is its students. So if we can bring in something which will take care of the output, because that is what matters. We talk of research, we talk of the way of learning. We find that there is so much of disparity between universities, and we find whether they are market ready. So can we have sessions which talk in terms of how do we ensure that our students are skilled and ensure that there is a pattern which can be adopted by the universities? I know there are some universities which are doing very well on this, but there are lots of universities which find that students, and after they have got even a professional degree, are not able to get in anywhere because they are not ready. 2 months, 3 months they work, and after that the industry says that you are not fit to be a part of us. I think we need to focus on the outcome part of it, that is the student part of it.
Very well said. So we are also working on a concept called Student Development Index. That every university, we should measure the Student Development Index, that how much the university contributed in the development of the student, not only in terms of employability, but also in terms of value education, the student to become a good human being, a good citizen. So that we are working on, and once that is final, we will circulate to all the universities so that they can themselves calculate what is their student development index based on this formula, and that can be promoted also, that our university is having this good student development index. So we are right now working on that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Last.
Madam, I make a humble submission that AIU should concentrate on NEP, madam, because all the vice chancellors do have great doubts, and we are facing a lot of problems, particularly in the context of introducing NEP. In my state, we are also facing same problems. Even colleges also, principals also, they are all facing as to how can we implement the NEP in the strict sense of the term. I think in that context, AIU has a great responsibility to convince all the vice chancellors, all the principals, as to how NEP can be introduced for sustainable development. Number two, most important aspects, I don't know how I differ from you. Let us concentrate on academics rather than sports. I think we are all academicians.
Both are.
I'm extremely sorry if I am able to displease you. Physical education, okay, but let us, madam, as what you said yesterday, that let us make good remarks in academics, because there is Sports of Authority of India there, Kelo India, all of them are there. Let us concentrate on academics and more academic exposure. I appeal to AIU to have this. And number three, most important thing all vice chancellors are facing, autonomy. As to what is this great autonomy, and as to how do vice chancellors can have autonomous powers. Now, maybe central universities or state universities or private universities, but interruptions or maybe political interference, or maybe some type of suggestions, maybe some type of aspects from outside forces may take away the freedom of the vice chancellors also. I think that's a great hindrance, that what a vice chancellor can be more successful. I think in that context, I appeal to you at least in Meghalaya conference, to see as to how autonomy is being given to all the chancellors. I think that's it.
UGC and government has to give a, you cannot give autonomy.
And my last submission, madam, maybe as what you were telling yesterday also, the point of research fellowships, from the point of teacher fellowships, these are very important as to what bonanza or what ex gratia that we can be able to promote the younger generations to occupy good positions, to occupy research positions. I think in that context, AIU has a great responsibility. Kindly, I appeal to you on behalf of all the fellow vice chancellors to see as to how best we can be on par with Western universities, as what you were talking about, 0.66%. In Western universities to have 5 to 6%. This is my humble submission to the House. Thank you very much.
We will ask the Vice President of AIU to make the concluding remarks.
So they have three more.
Please be short, please.
Yeah, okay, madam. I have a suggestion to AIU, madam. It is unfortunate that today the regulatory bodies are regulating the autonomy of the vice chancellors. We have a regulatory body like Bar Council of India regulating the legal education. The number of students who are eligible for legal education, they are of seats as a result of which has been fixed by the regulatory body. As a result, it is also in fact decreasing the GRE in respect of legal education across the nation. I request the AIU to do something to retain the autonomy. Let the vice chancellors have the autonomy. Increase the seats. It is very much required, and the students are found eligible. Most of the regulatory authorities, we cannot pass the limit fixed by regulatory authorities. And very frequently, they are challenging the court of law also. I request you to see that should be given up. And so that the vice chancellors, especially in the universities, technical universities, professional universities, they should exercise their autonomy to increase the number of students who are really willing to pursue various courses, including the research programs.
Our council is a hard nut to crack.
Thank you, sir. So before I request Dr. G.D. Sharmagaru to offer the closing remarks, I think we have two more questions and. Yes, sir.
Madam, you made a very good presentation for about AIU. Thank you. And Andhra Pradesh government, particularly APSHE, Andhra Pradesh, has created a planning board where 5 cluster groups are created depending on the issues. And is it possible to have such type of cluster groups as a nation as a whole? And the universities which have a common interest in teaching and research and subjects, if we have a cluster group, irrespective of private, deemed or central or state, it will be very useful to coordinate each other, do something towards enhancing the research. This is my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just one request. So these deemed to be universities, vice chancellor's tenure is 5 years, whereas the state universities, vice chancellor's tenure is 3 years. Why? No, but in Andhra Pradesh it is 3 years. Can we change it to 5 years uniformly across the country? Can AIU do something?
Can write.
Why disparity? Yeah, please. Yeah. Thank you.
I now request Professor G.D. Sharmagaru, Vice President, AIU, to offer the closing remarks.
Good afternoon to all our very honorable vice chancellors from different universities of Southern Zone, and also those honorable vice chancellors attending from other zones online. And at the outset, I would like to really congratulate Dr. Pankaj Mittal, the Secretary General of AIU, that after her joining AIU, the AIU, which was sleeping, has become most active. So that indicates when some lady comes on the highest this thing, and how it becomes the active. She is the first full-time Secretary General in the history of 98 years. You just imagine. Yes. So what happens? You have seen more transparency has come now. More involvement of Vice Chancellor is there from different universities, and it is an association of all kinds of universities. Because you have seen, you might have received the invitations also from some universities trying to bring the association of central universities, association of state universities, association of private universities. We should work holistically as one of the association, make it more stronger and stronger. And as has been said, that you kindly give your suggestions. These suggestions will be taken up in the governing council meeting. And in future, the next year, those suggestions which have come in today's business meeting, also in other zonal business meeting will be compiled together, and the agenda and the work for the next year will also be planned. So this is in this way, overall involvement of all kinds of universities. The growth not only of one type, whether it is health science or legal studies or the technological universities or general universities, because NEP 2020 also trying to break all these boundaries and bring together, give opportunities to the students, share our strength, as well as think of collaboration so that whatever resources we have, the limited resources, these should be fully utilized. I have seen there are many universities where instruments are lying in veranda, no space in laboratory because so many instruments. On the other hand, there are universities or even colleges, there is fighting, they are fighting for a small equipment. So if this cluster approach, the collaborative approach comes, we can share these resources. We are still developing country. We are not developed countries that we can afford or use and throw kind of the mentality. We have to make, use, reuse, and again use. And that is how our Honorable Prime Minister also says that learn, unlearn, and relearn. So from our experiences and the strength of India, which was based giving the knowledge to other parts of the world, that is the traditional knowledge, community oriented. We are not individualistic oriented people like West, but all our activities are based community oriented. That is our strength. So here also the concept of community, that means collaborative mode, has to come. And I will not take much time to give long lecture like this. I have to just to listen to you all. And I will request even afterwards, if you have anything, please give in writing a good proposal. What we plan as AIU, that everybody is talking, government is talking, that out of 1,000 universities, 135 crores of population, we are not among the 100 universities. So please think on these issues, how our universities can emerge now, what is required to emerge as top 20 universities of the world. What is required, which university can produce the Nobel laureate? Please give suggestions. AIU will pursue at government level, at our all university level, all these issues. We should not think of the very small issues now, which can be handled by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, because different problems are there in state university, central university. They have to face the political supported leaders, students leaders every day. So these are all different kind of, what is required is how India, when the economy is growing, when everything and our power is growing as a country, we feel proud. So in this way, this is incoming few years, the more opportunities will come as emerging power, the educational power, economical power. So the universities have very important role. You must have got the invitation. I got invitation to attend the 31st January meeting by the CM of Uttar Pradesh, that how universities can contribute in G20 meetings. So you see, we are reaching toward G20. Not only G20, G6 we have to reach, and ultimately G1 we have to reach. That kind of the thinking is required by our so much intellectual group here. They have so much potential, but because of various reasons, political or any other thing, maybe financial, we are not able to do so much. So please think on this line, give a good suggestions, and AIU will take up. AIU is the non-political body. We express the government of India side, education ministry, they always send a request, Khelo India and all these things. You see, the ministry is unable to do. That is how they have given this work to AIU. You organize. And we have organized 5 lakh students are taking part. Because there is a good infrastructure developed by AIU in last 98 years. Good officers are there. They are very much committed and regularly doing whatever thing comes. So I request you all. Yesterday morning, I did not mention the name of Dr. Ramapani purposely because you have seen the most regular journal, AIU newsletter you have seen. Weekly it comes out. So continuously coming. You all know it is really very difficult to sustain any journal for long. Many times it is delayed, but it is not delayed. So as Madam said that already discussion have taken place for bringing out good quality journal to be taken up by AIU. But we are talking that it should have good impact factor, it should be at global level recognition. All these things are going on. So I am sure with your help and support, the more and more activities will take place. Only thing I will again request you, please come to annual meeting of AIU to be held in the month of March, where we are expecting 500 honorable vice chancellors to be there in the physical mode and remaining 400 in virtual mode. Because we want to make history from Northeast. Why we want to make history and why we are interested so much? Because Northeast is always having this feeling of alienity and all these things. Government of India has given most important thing that India can develop most if we have Act East policy. Our history says through Northeast or Eastern part only, we spread education, we spread our culture to other part of the Asia. So that has got lot of potential. Kindly think you have 2 months how Act East policy can be converted into functional by educational leaders. That is my request. If that comes out good paper, we will send to Honorable Prime Minister that how our educational institutions are going to play a major role in transforming education, making peace in the country, developing a new model of peace through education. So not taking much time, I thank you, each one of you, especially those honorable vice chancellors who have presented very good their thoughts. In 10 minutes, it is not possible to present everything, but they have given concept. And in this way, exposure is there. And most importantly, our honorable vice chancellor, Reddy Garu of Andhra Pradesh University has given us this good facility, very good support. And he is such a simple person, very honest and down to earth. We all have to learn from him. Yes, that is how. He, ideal vice chancellor like him. Very dynamic. Man of action. And you see, he has been able to utilize the IIM facility. Sir, this is Andhra University. Andhra. Incubated. So just see, that is how we have to also think that incubate such kind of institute in your own campus, so that good interaction and all this. Other universities. So thank you very much, sir. And I once again thank all AIU officers who are also in their office doing wonderful work, and Madam Pankaj Mittal, under whose leadership transformation is taking place and the AIU is getting new heights. Thank you very much.
So on behalf of AIU and Andhra University, I propose the formal vote of thanks for the last session, AIU business session. I express my sincere gratitude to the chairperson, Professor G.D. Sharma Garu, Vice President, AIU. My special thanks to Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, AIU. A sincere thanks to Chairman APSHI, Professor Hemchandra Reddy Garu, Vice Chairman APSHI, Professor Ram Mohan Rao Garu. My sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor PVGD Prasad Reddy Garu. All the Vice Chancellors who have actively participated in the discussion for the improvement of AIU. Thank you very much. Ramadevi Madam, Editor, University News, AIU. And our special thanks to our reporters, Narsimham Garu, Satyanarayan Garu, Rishikeshwar Rao Garu, and Hanuman. Thank you very much. I am AU for giving us this venue. Thank you very much. Thank you each and everyone for participating. And the next session, that is a valedictory, will be there in the AU Senate Hall in the Chief Administrative Block. It is close by. I request all of you to please proceed to the AU Senate Hall. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.
Hello, hello. 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 Hello, hello, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. ఆనంద్ ఏడి అక్కడ ఉన్నాడు లాగిన్ అవ్వమను. హలో సార్ జోన్ గారు ఒకసారి ఆనంద్ని మాట్లాడమనరా. సరే కిందనే ఉన్నాను. కెమెరా ఇచ్చాడు మరి.
తీసుకోండి అలాగే మరి పొజిషన్స్
హలో జాయిన్ అక్కర్లేదన్న ఇక్కడ మీటింగ్ ఉంది కదా లింక్ మళ్ళీ మీటింగ్
లింక్ నాకు పెట్టాల్సింది కదా.
గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టాను అన్న. హలో హలో ఇచ్చాను.
వస్తారా ఎవరండి?
హలో
వస్తారు.
హలో హలో
మళ్ళీ మాట్లాడు.
ఆనంద్ గారు ఈజ్ మై వాయిస్ ఆడియబుల్?
ఎస్
రాజు దీని సౌండ్ పెంచు.
ఆక్స్ పెట్టు.
నాకు ఎందుకు దీని సౌండ్ రావట్లా?
ఆక్స్ పెట్టు.
ఉండు నీకు ఎందుకు వెళ్తుంది? నువ్వు ఆక్స్ పెంచు. ఆక్స్ పెంచు. అట్లా
హలో హలో
ఇప్పుడు ఆంతం పిలిచి
హలో హలో
హలో
నీ వాయిస్
లింక్ సేమే కదా ఆన్లైన్ లో జాయిన్ అవడానికి.
సేమ్
వచ్చలేదు.
హలో
నీ వాయిస్
హలో హలో
వస్తుంది.
హలో అదే హలో Hello, hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the organizing committee of the AIU South Zone Vice Chancellors Meet 2022-23, I extend a hearty and warm welcome to all of you to the valedictory session. At the outset, I welcome Professor G.D. Sharmaji, Vice President, Association of Indian Universities and Vice Chancellor, ESTM Meghalaya, to come out to the dais and occupy the chair to preside over the session. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to invite to the dais the dynamic leader and captain of higher education in the state of Andhra Pradesh, the chairman of AP State
Recording
Council
in
for Higher
progress.
Education, the chief guest of today's function, Professor K. Hemachandra Reddy, to kindly come out to the dais and occupy the chair. The chief guest of today's function, Sri Hemachandra Reddy Garu. I feel privileged to invite to the dais the very dynamic Secretary General of Association of Indian Universities, Dr. Mrs. Pankaj Mittal, to please come out to the dais, ma'am. May I now call upon the captain of Andhra University, the face of Andhra University, the dynamic vice chancellor of Andhra University, Professor P.V. Prasad Reddy Garu, to kindly come out to the dais and occupy the chair. Please, sir. May I now call upon Dr. S. Ramadevi Pani, editor, University News, who has been helping Andhra University since long, the one who represents Andhra Pradesh in Association of Indian Universities, Madam Ramadevi Garu, please. May I request the custodian of the assets of Andhra University, a very dynamic professor of management, and the registrar of Andhra University, Professor V. Krishna Mohan, to kindly come out to the dais and occupy the chair. It is. Yeah, it's there. Now, invocation by Andhra University students, Department of Music and Dance, under the leadership of Professor Saraswati Vidyarthi. Please. Thank you very much.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujala, Sujala, Sitaram, Sasya Shyamala, Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subram Jyotsna, Suhasini, Sumadhurashini, Sukharam, Vande, Vande, Vande,
Now it's over to the presiding officer to conduct the proceedings. Sharmaji.
Okay. So thank you very much and good afternoon to this valedictory function of the Southern Zone Vice Chancellors Conference hosted by Andhra University, organized by AIU on a very important theme, research and excellence for transformative education, higher education to become Atmanirbhar Bharat. I request our respected registrar to say a few words on this occasion.
Good afternoon to all the eminent vice chancellors and also the executive of AIU. At Andhra University, we are so glad that this AIU South Vice Chancellors Meet is coming to an end with this valedictory. And I am so glad that a very fruitful deliberations took place on the theme, chosen theme, and contributions definitely will go a long way in shaping, reshaping our higher education in the domain of research. On those dimensions, definitely we look forward for taking university to a further step with the involvement of guidance of eminent personalities who participated in a highly fruitful discussions, and for the opportunity given. Specifically, we are very thankful to our AIU executive and particularly DZ and the chairman, APSHI, who has facilitated and chosen Andhra University as the venue for conducting such a, need-based discussion which has happened, and the fruits of this discussion definitely will go a long way in building all the universities, both for networking and together, definitely we excel. We look forward for cooperation from all the members of AIU. Thank you for the opportunity given. We are.
Very good, sir. Thank you so much. Very good, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, my VC gave 2 minutes time.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Very good. Very good, sir.
I gave him only 2 minutes. Because he is one man, given the mic can speak.
Yes, yes.
That is the habit of any teacher. It's like a synonym of Professor G.D. Sharma.
Yes. So now we request, yes, the chief guest of this valedictory function, Professor K. Hemchandran Reddy, Chairman, Andhra Pradesh, this council, yes, State Council of Higher Education.
Oh.
That's very good, sir.
The president of this valedictory function, G.D. Sharma ji, and the most dynamic Secretary General of AIU, Dr. Pankaj Mittal ji, another dynamic Vice Chancellor of this host university, PVGD Prasad Reddy garu, Ramadevi garu, and Krishna Mohan garu, all distinguished Vice Chancellors. Krishna Mohan took 2 minutes when he was asked to speak for a minute. I'm fortunate, time is not stipulated on me, but then in view of the pressing compulsion for many of the Vice Chancellors to leave, in fact, the president of the function himself need to leave at 1:30. So I think it was 2 days of fruitful discussion. Maybe for the first time, Vice Chancellors of the entire South India coming together and then giving a serious thought to collaborating and then taking forward together. We should thank Association of Indian Universities for giving this wonderful opportunity for all of us. In fact, it's a learning experience for me in person. I have picked up quite a few points, which when we go back, already myself and my vice chairman, we both discussed about it. We'll try to implement it, across the AP universities. I personally feel frequent such gatherings or meetings is very much needed, in fact, to take higher education a little forward. Today, we are talking about education 4.0. A lot of new dimensions have come into education. The traditional education is being phased out now. The traditional classroom teaching learning process, I think we need to come back with many other solutions to strengthen a personalized learning, remote learning, digitalization, and blended mode of learning. Everything is going to be so important because the scale is one issue and quality is another issue, revisiting the quality. I'm very happy. In fact, yesterday we were talking to Pankaj Mittalji. She informally agreed to provide all kinds of assistance to provide, to create capacity in the universities, at least in Andhra Pradesh. We have made a serious note of it. We need to run it because, going forward, we don't have academic leaders being produced in universities. We need to nurture them very carefully. I think Association of Indian Universities, particularly after this, attending this meeting, I think AIU is hand-holding all Indian universities. I'm very sure, the future of Indian universities is in safe hands. Thanks to all your contributions. It was a learning experience, seriously. Some of the discussions were really thought-provoking. And we did, get others enriched with new dimensions, new knowledge and that. So I don't know what is going to be the new normal, but definitely we need to find out and then implement it across the universities. Thank you very much, sir, particularly, madam, on your initiative. I will be failing in my duty. The moment we contacted our Vice Chancellor, Andhra University, he is one man who never says no to anything for that matter. And when we proposed this to him to organize the South Indian VCs conference, he readily came forward. And you all have witnessed how well it is organized. I don't think there is any complaint from any quarter for that matter. Exemplary arrangements and the way he has rallied the entire university behind this meet, that's just amazing, the kind of a control he enjoys and authority he enjoys in this university. So that too, it's one opportunity for all of us to showcase a centenarian university. You are going to celebrate 100 years of existence.
Yes.
2025, not too far. So as a role model, in fact, it's a torchbearer for Andhra Pradesh higher education, Andhra universities. We are also proud of it. We are trying to, under his leadership, he is trying to improve its visibility and ranking, and all new dimensions have been brought in the university. So my special thanks are to Association of Indian University and also the Andhra University Vice Chancellor and his team. And the motivation with which the Vice Chancellors of South Indian State Universities participated here, that is another amazing dimension to this meet. Now, the enthusiasm, I've seen many of you writing your recommendations, comments so sincerely, like, a high school student. Now, that speaks volumes about your involvement in the entire issue. So together, I think we can bring in a change. Sam gachadvam, sam vadadvam, samyo manansi janatam. Let us think together, let us walk together. No, let us talk together, let us walk together, let's also think together. Probably with this motto, if we go forward, Indian University is highly secured and, is meant to rejuvenate the society as such. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
Madam. So I will request Honorable our Pankaj Mittal Madam to say a few words.
Thank you, sir. First of all, let me thank the Andhra University, the Vice Chancellor and his entire team for excellently organizing the AIU South Zone Vice Chancellors Conference. And then I must thank each one of you who have been participating since yesterday so sincerely and participating in the discussions in the AIU business session. So it has been a very, very good learning experience. I had written some takeaways, around 10 takeaways from the conference, but I think the time is not permitting that because everybody has to catch a flight. So we will be writing the report about the conference and we'll be sending it to you. So thanks to all of you once again for being there and for participating so actively, and see you in Meghalaya very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Felicitation. There's no time.
No.
Felicitation, let us.
Okay.
And she'll propose vote of thanks after the felicitation, right?
It's 1:30.
1 minute only we do.
Yes, yes, okay, sir.
We'll see you.
May I now request
NSA flight.
our Honorable Vice Chancellor to honor the chief guest of the day with a shawl and a memento.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes. Very good.
Yes.
A customer though. Or anything?
Yes.
All these.
అవును సార్ ఫస్ట్ చేస్తాం ఓపెన్ చేయాలి సార్ నేను మళ్ళీ సీల్ చేయాలి
ఎదిరిగిస్తాం
Open it and show it and then deliver. Open it. This is from again Andhra University through the hands of AIU.
That's also. One more, sir. Sir, one more.
Yeah. Three, sir. Three. Back చేసి arrange చేసి.
మిగతా ఫ్రూట్ పెట్టి తీసుకుంది That is open.
Yeah, right. That should be shown, right? The pack is open. Two months back, I gave a similar thing to Andhra University.
Fast. May I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to honor the President of today's function, Sri G.D. Sharma ji, with a memento, a shawl, memento, and a silver frame.
Memento by. Yes. And you are giving this. Because you can't do AIM.
May I again request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to honor the Secretary General of Association of Indian Management Schools, Madam Pankaj Mittal ji, with a memento and a silver frame. Vice Chancellor to the Secretary General of AIU. With a memento and a silver frame.
Again, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to honor the Chief Editor of University News, AIU, Dr. S. Ramadevi Pani, the representative of Andhra Pradesh in AIU. ఇంకో రెండు ఉన్నాయా? ఇది ఇచ్చారా? రెండు. అదే 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 బీసీ గారికి ఇచ్చారు.
I request my rector to come onto the dais and, do the. Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. From AIU. All names are. One second. On behalf of Association of Indian Universities, a memento from them to the Vice Chancellor of Andhra University from Pankaj Mittalji.
I'm just. Yeah, for me. Okay.
And yeah, from the hands of Madam Ramadevi Garu to the Registrar of Andhra University. It's over to Ramji, Nodal Officer of the event, to read out the names of all the Vice Chancellors to receive mementos.
Whoever is present
Yeah.
can come onto the dais so that it becomes easy.
Now I am requesting Professor K. Ramon Ragaru, Vice Chairman APSE, in charge Vice Chancellor Krishna University.
I complete this.
By decision. Now I am requesting Professor Vaidya Subramanian. Sir. Now I am requesting Professor. Now I am requesting Professor K. Rajareddy Garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Next, I am requesting Professor Nima Venkatra Garu, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam. Next, I am requesting Professor Nima Venkatra Garu, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam. Next, I am requesting Professor S. Geeta Lakshmi Madam, Director, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Vice Chancellor, Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute, deemed to be University, Chennai. Next, I am requesting Professor G. Kannabiran, Director, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Sri City, Andhra Pradesh. Next, now I am requesting Vivek Sauji, Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapith, deemed to be University, Pune. Next, now I am requesting Professor Manoj K. Arora. Next. Next, I am requesting Dr. Vivek Sauji, sir, Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapith, deemed in Pune. Next, Professor K. N. Madhusudan, sir, Vice Chancellor, Cochin University of Science and Technology, Kochi. Next, Dr. A. Vishwardhan Reddy Garu, Vice Chancellor, Acharya Engineering University. Professor Rangajanardhan Garu, Vice Chancellor, JNT Anantapur.
Well conducted.
Professor Sai Sridhar garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Satya Institute of Higher Learning. Sai Sheshidhar garu, Sai Giridhar garu. Leru. Next, Professor M. Ramakrishna Reddy garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Krishnadevara University, Anantapuram. Professor Ramakrishna Reddy garu, Sai Sridhar garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Satya Institute of Higher Learning, Puttaparthi. Now I am requesting Professor M. Ramakrishna Reddy garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Krishnadevara University, Anantapuram. Next, Professor Anandrao garu, Vice Chancellor, Rayalaseema University, Kurnool. Next, Balakrishna Shetty garu, the Vice Chancellor. Balakrishna Shetty garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Siddhartha Academy of Higher Education, Bangalore. Next, Professor G.P. Sarathi Varma garu, Vice Chancellor, KLA University. Next, I am requesting Dr. S.V. Kota Reddy garu, Vice Chancellor, VIT AP University, Amravati, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Okay. Now I am requesting Professor K.B. Gudasizar, Vice Chancellor, Karnataka University, Dharwad. Next, now I am requesting Professor B.D. Kumbar sir, Davangere University, Davangere, Karnataka. Next, Colonel Dr. G. Tiruvasangam garu, Vice Chancellor, MIT University. Okay. Professor R. Jagannathan garu, Vice Chancellor, Periyar University, Salem, Tamil Nadu. Then Dr. S. Narayan garu, Vice Chancellor, Palasingam Academy of Research and Education, Tamil Nadu. Next, Dr. Chandra M. Shettar sir. Next, Professor N. Dhananjaya garu, Vice Chancellor, Reva University. Professor C. Baswaraj garu, Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Law University. Next, Professor L. Gomati Devi madam. Next, Professor L. Gomati Devi madam. Professor. Yes. Next, Professor BP Veerabhadrappa garu, Vice Chancellor, ORP University. Professor H. Rajashekar garu, Vice Chancellor, University of Mysore. Next, Professor R. Perimal Sam garu, Nurul Islam Center for Higher Education. Next, Professor Biradar garu. Next, Professor B.K. Tulsimala Madam, Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Akamadevi Women's University, Vijayapura. Yes, sir. Akkamahadevi. Professor P.K. Sudhir garu, Vice Chancellor, Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation, deemed to be University, Salem, Tamil Nadu. Next, Professor K.V.J. Bhaskar Raj garu, Vice Chancellor, Bharat Institute of Higher Education, University of Vellore. Next, Professor Avik Datta from Next, Professor Dayananda Siddhavardhan, Vice Chancellor, Yedam. Professor G.S.N. Raj garu, Vice Chancellor, Century University, Vijayanagaram. Next, Dr. Chandam Shivaji garu, Vice Chancellor, Savitha Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences, Chennai. Next, Professor M. Krishnan garu, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvallur, Tamil Nadu. Next, now I am requesting Sri Satyapal Singh, representative AIU. Sri Satyapal Singh, representative AIU, New Delhi. Next, I am requesting Sri Vijayendra Kumar garu, Meetings Division, AIU, New Delhi, representative from AIU family. I am requesting now Siam from SRM University. Aurora sir, there is not there. No, Aurora sir, Vice Chancellor, yesterday came on behalf. That's all, sir. Thank you. What of the now?
May I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to say a few words before what? Thanks. One sentence, sir. I request Madam S. Ramadevi Garu to propose a formal vote of thanks from AIU.
Thank you so much. And it's a challenging job because we are rushing like Rajdhani Express. So I'm doing away with addressing each one of you right to the point. I'm coming. First of all, I appreciate the organization of this meet. It was wonderful, and recommendations, tangible recommendations have come. And for this valedictory session, we are happy to have Professor Hemachandra Reddy Garu, Chairman AP State Council for Higher Education, as chief guest. Sir, we are enlightened to know the efforts which you are making for Andhra Pradesh state, and they are showing their colors. I'm very happy, and I'm thankful to you for the interesting address in the inaugural session and very crisp address in the valedictory session. Thank you to you, sir. And for the inaugural, we had Honorable Governor as chief guest. I thank on behalf of AIU to him. I'm thankful to our President, AIU, Professor Suranjan Das, for his continuous guidance and inspiration. And now the word dynamic has become synonymous to Madam Pankaj Bittal. In fact, it is. So and we are very fortunate to have a leader like her. Every day it's a happening day for us at AIU. So I'm thankful to you, madam, for continuous inspiration to all of us. And I'm actually overwhelmed to see the rejuvenated Andhra University in this trip. And we know the efforts have been of the Vice Chancellor. And I'm very thankful to you as a daughter of this soil. I will take this pride moments to myself, carry this to Delhi. And I'm thankful to you, sir, for making all the arrangements and making our stay, everything comfortable, and sessions also. The sessions chairs were, of course, too good. I'm thankful to Professor G.D. Sharma, Professor K. Raman Rao Garu, Professor Dinesh Singh, and Professor K. N. Madhusudanan. I'm too small a person to appreciate people of such high level, but I'm really thankful to them. On behalf of Apex bodies, we have P.R. Patil from AICT, Professor Jagannath Patil from NAC, Professor Leena Gane from NAC, Professor R.C. Agrawal from ICR. I'm thankful to all of them for their interface with Apex, with the Vice Chancellors. I'm thankful to all the speakers, Professor Raj Singh, Professor V.K. Malhotra, Professor G.R. Prasad Rajgaru, Professor Vaidya Subramaniam, Professor W. Selvamurthy, Professor Raja Reddy, Professor Manoj Arora, Professor Kannabiran, Professor Geeta Lakshmi, Professor Vivek Sauji, Professor Venkat Rao Nimagaru, all the speakers who have excellently made their points to the gathering. I'm very happy to see the overwhelming response of the Vice Chancellors. In this valedictory session also, we have the house full. That is the significance of this meet. I'm very thankful to you all, sir, all those who are here with us physically and online also. So I'm thankful to all of you. You have made the meet actually. I'm thankful to the nodal officer of this meet from this university, Professor K. Ramji. For like he had been continuously working. Yeah, please, sir, you please come here. And I'm also thankful to Professor Mohan Venkatram Garu, who also has been continuously working this for this meet. And one more man behind this whole meet is Professor James Stephen, Ambedkar chair here in this university. He had in fact anchored, given a creativity to this whole meet. He had given a new dimension to this meet. I'm thankful to Professor James Stephen and Dr. Pujit, who had been continuously with him, and all his team, like who are working day and night to make this meet a success. I'm thankful to Director IMM Professor Chandrasekhar Rao Garu for facilitating our technical sessions, providing us the venue. And I am indeed very thankful to Professor Krishna Mohan Garu, registrar, is a good friend of mine also. And I know him for so many years. And I'm thankful to Madam Samata, K. Samata, rector of this university. She has also been smilingly welcoming all of us and taking care of us. I'm thankful. Huh? Oh. Acha. I mean, yeah, she plays her role aptly, in whichever way it is required. Yeah. At AIU, our team is led by Dr. Alok Mishra. He's the head of the meetings division. He could not join us here in this meet physically, but he must be online. And the de facto coordinator or nodal officer of this meet at AIU is Mr. Vijendra Kumar. He makes all the efforts for all the vice chancellors meet. So I thank Mr. Vijendra Kumar for all his efforts, and Mr. Satyapal, of course, like he's a man behind. I mean, all the efforts of our team. He supports wherever we require. His jack, like everywhere he's there. So I'm thankful to you, Mr. Satyapal. And with me at AIU, I have Dr. Yogita to support me. And we have Shivam, who is taking care of the technical aspect of the team at AIU. So I'm thankful to all the officers of AIU who are sitting there, probably watching also. Thank you all. And I'm thankful to the rapporteur, Professor Satyanarayan Garu, Professor Rishikesh Rao Garu, and their team for making the report. And we'll be sending it to us in course of time for presenting it at the annual meet. I thank all the EC members of Andhra University, professors, administrative staff, secretarial staff, all the students who have volunteered in this, in various activities in organizing this meet. I'm thankful to the technology team of the Andhra University, transport team, hospitality team, media team, and media personnel who have come here and gave a good coverage to it. And I think I had covered everyone, but if I forgot somebody, please consider that I'm thanking them. Media, yes, media, of course, I thanked. They have covered it very well. I'm thankful to one and all. I'm lastly, like to whole Andhra University and Visakhapatnam. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. And
we have taken patent dynamic for our vice chancellor. Already patent we have taken.
Oh, Acha, dynamic cannot be. Oh, no, but we are at national level anyway. Like both are dynamic and both will make the country proud. That is, with that will.
Like this.
Recording stopped.